remind everybody to please make sure your cell phones are shut off and hopefully your vehicles are locked. I guess there's been a couple of break-ins in the parking lot lately, so. My name is Chris Newman. I'm the president of the Normanby Optimist Club. I'd like to thank Wayne Peffer for coming out to be our moderator, Marg Rapp for being our timekeeper, and Wightman Communication being here to record it.
Good evening, everyone, and I'd also like to welcome particularly the candidates for the election, but also all of the residents who are here tonight to hear what the candidates have to say and to perhaps ask them some questions. We're going to try to keep things moving as quickly as we can. We're going to start off by giving each one of the candidates 3 minutes, and during that time they can introduce themselves, tell us why they decided that they would like to run for office, and if they have any present or past issues that are very, very important to them that they want to share with you, they can do that at that time. The candidates are going to speak in alphabetical order, starting with the 2 candidates for mayor, then the 2 candidates for the deputy mayor, the 11 candidates for councilors, and we have at least 1 school board trustee here. There are 2 eligible for the Blue Water District School Board, and there are 2 eligible for the French Public School Board, but at this time I see only 1. So let's, without any further ado, turn it over to our candidates, and we're going to start with our candidates for mayor in alphabetical order, starting with Kevin.
Again, I'd like to say thank you to the Optimist Club for hosting this evening and making it available for you, the constituents of West Grey, to get out and ask questions and for us to be able to present ourselves. One little blurb for the Optimist Club. If you have not been to one of their murder mysteries, which will be right here on October the 18th, I'm going to say you've got to come and watch that. I believe on October the 18th, Cousin Clem is going to be here and performing. So we'll see what Wayne does with that. No further ado, obviously my name is Kevin Eccles. And I was born in this community, grew up here, and I've worked here all my life, and went through school in the community. And apparently I have a very magnetic personality. Which one are we going to use? Do I get another go at this, Mark? One, two, three. Okay. As I said, was born and raised in the community and have worked in the community all my life. That one's not working. I don't know whether it's turned on or not.
Time's up.
I got 3 minutes with each mic. I don't think that one's working either, Mark. I have the experience of the privilege of being your representative here in West Grey for the last 14 years. I started out as a councillor in 2000 with the Amalgamated Municipality of West Grey, then progressed to being deputy mayor and have been mayor for the last 8 years. I also have been involved with a number of local boards, from the Lions Club to Germania Insurance right here in Ayton. I've sat on the board there for 2 years, as well as I've been a member of the Saugeen Community Credit Union in the community for the last 11 years now that I've been on that board as well too. What I bring is a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of common sense to the issues that we have seen and will be coming forward in the municipality for the next 4 years. And speaking of going forward, the biggest thing that I see with the municipality, and I would love the opportunity to continue with, is the partnerships that we're going to need to develop with other communities and other organizations to be able to move West Grey forward, whether it's through economic development and other services, to deliver that for the expectations and to be able to move West Grey in a forward and positive position for the next 4 years. Thank you, Mark. And with that, I would just like to ask for your support on October the 27th for experience. It is vital in today's municipal world. Thank you.
Our next candidate for mayor is Christine Robinson.
Good evening. Thank you, Wayne, and thank you to the Norman B. Optimist Club for hosting this event. My name is Christine Robinson. I am running for the mayor of West Grey. My husband Scott and I live on our 50-acre farm where we enjoy our horses. I have 32 years of municipal experience, which includes a master's degree in public administration, and in that time, I've worked side by side with councils. I represent leadership, change, and accountability. Leadership is listening to you, the citizens, engaging you in conversation and working together with you to resolve issues. What matters to you. Leadership goes hand in hand with being accessible and accountable to you to address issues and concerns and make positive changes to move our municipality forward. Together, leadership means making decisions that make sense, doing what is right. Change is needed to move the municipality forward. I love West Grey, and I want to ensure its prosperity. Change for the better in how the municipality is run. Change in citizens in terms of how they are treated. Change in actually making decisions that will benefit West Grey. I can bring positive change, and I will be accountable every step of the way. A strong West Grey needs a solid foundation, value for tax dollars, respect for the taxpayer, because ultimately you are paying the taxes to ensure that we have the proper programs and services available. I propose a 4-year SMART budget that will be with specific and measurable outcomes so that you know where your tax dollars are going and you could see directly how the money is being spent. As a homeowner, you know when you need a new roof, a new furnace, a vehicle, going on vacation. You plan, you budget. West Grey needs to do the same thing, and you need to be involved in that. Another foundation is quality service delivery. We're all familiar with that. We need to enhance our customer service delivery within West Grey to ensure that the services that are being delivered are to your expectations. The third foundation is community needs. West Grey has unique communities. I respect that, and I acknowledge that. I will continue to dialogue within the communities, as I have been, on a regular basis as mayor. We need to assess what West Grey needs. We need to assess the services and the service levels. The hospital, the clinic are very important. The historic Diefenbaker House, Glenelg Hall, Lamlash Hall, Centennial Hall, hockey, soccer, recreation are all vital community fabric contributors. Sustainable future and ensuring we have an infrastructure in place. Thank you very much. I would very much appreciate your vote. Vote for Christine as mayor. Thank you.
We're now prepared to hear the two candidates for deputy mayor, and our first candidate is John A. Bell.
Thank you, Chairman Wayne. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to stand before you, humbly seeking your vote for representative as your West Grey deputy mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, I've lived in Glenelg all my life. I'm a fifth-generation farmer in West Grey. I'm married to my wife, Leanne, in approximately 70 days. That'll be 30 glorious years. And so, yes, she does deserve a medal. Anyways, I do have 3 grown children. Adam works in Toronto. Dana and a new son-in-law as of about a month ago, Mitch. And my daughter Alyssa does work in the area also in Hanover Hospital. I farm approximately 400 acres and have been in the dairy farming and beef farming and now concentrate on crops in Glenelg. Everything has a cost, and what you're here tonight to hear and surmise is to see how we're going to spend your tax dollars. Your tax dollars have been spent with great, shall we say, careful approach in the last council. I do know that there are lots of wants, there are probably lots of needs, but the needs have to outterm the wants. We have to, going forward, plan on how much long-term debt that we want as a municipality, recognizing some things that are shaping up that we need desperately. But we do have some new initiatives happening in West Grey. We have expressions of interest for gas, perhaps coming to the south end of West Grey. But that is only an expression of interest, and there's a lot of things that have to come together before that ever happens. But we are working on that. We do know that that is vital for economic stability and survival. We know that the stability of West Grey is going to be put around those services which we can deliver, as the Mayor said. They are going to happen in different parts of the municipality as we can make good deals representing you. We have good staff in West Grey. We have a number of staff that are going to retire in the next few years. That succession planning is going to be vital to this continued success of West Grey. I propose that there's no smoke and mirrors in my campaign, ladies and gentlemen. I am a country boy. I come from the country. I'm approachable. If I do not have the answers, I can get you one, or you can put you in touch with someone who can. I propose to give a good representation to all of you on behalf of your tax dollars and your hard work ethic. We live in a great area with great volunteers and people who want to do the best for their community. They take great pride in their communities, and right here in Ayton is no, shall we say, I guess different than anywhere else. We do know that there's even rumblings of a homecoming in Ayton next year, and I would love to be part of that. So if that gets organized, it's great. But get on board with your volunteers, get on board with your people, ask questions. We just want to do the best possible job we can. I know we've done great things in the past 4, and I know going forward we can do more. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm already answering to Deputy Jenny. As I go up and down the street, I've been practicing that just for fun. I recently read an issue of the Owen Sound Chamber's newsletter, and in it, this is an organization, as we all know, that's dedicated to business, and there was a list of what they said were tremendous assets. They were listing that Owen Sound listed these as tremendous economic assets, and these are what they listed. The Tom Thompson Gallery, the Roxy Theatre, and the Summerfolk Music Festival, as well as a number of other things. And what I found really interesting about this list is that these are all economic assets that are related to the creative arts. I am a professional performer. I'm also a painter, a freelance writer. I am a supply teacher with the Blue Water School Board, and I'm a co-owner of a home bakery. And as a creative person, and from being away as well, only 7 years, I feel that I'm bringing an area of expertise and experience that actually isn't represented on the council right now. I think what we have on the council right now are some very good experts, some great people, but in a way there's a lot of duplication of the voices and of the experience. And very often what we're getting is not only the same experience and the same voice, but very often the same opinion. So what I would like to offer is as an opinion that will come at a new direction into this conversation. For instance, I would like to take a different approach to the expansion deal with Hanover. Promises were made to a family in Hanover that we wouldn't take their land from them. And if I had been there, even if everyone, and not everybody did vote for this deal, not everybody did, but even if everyone voted for this deal, I am prepared to stand apart and be a voice that offers another option. And the option I would say is no, we keep the promise that we have made to this family. A promise is a promise, and we find a new area for this development. Well, I believe we need a new way to tackle the wind turbine issue. Right now, I'm hoping that in 2015 we're not paying any more expensive legal costs. I see this as a problem that was created with the Green Energy Act. I think we have to tackle this issue of the wind turbines at the county level with policy instead of with tax dollars that have been hard earned by our taxpayers in the courts. It's time, I believe, to have a new voice in the council to blend with the already very expert voices that are there. I bring that experience of many years of creation and creativity. I believe it's time to let our creative industry contribute to our economic sustainability. I believe we can start looking at things like music festivals and art as a way to make us a prosperous community. And I hope that you'll vote for me. Vote Parsons, Deputy Parsons.
They're going to let you speak it. No. It's not working. That's why they're going to give it to you.
Use my school teacher voice. Anyways, we have 11 candidates for councillor, and we're eager to hear what they have to tell us. And starting with candidate number 1, Bev Cuddy.
You're number 1.
Number 1. I'm one of the old people that she's talking about. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight, and I'd also like to thank the new candidates for putting their name forward. It's a very challenging position, and you are to be commended for wishing to try to get on council. My name is Bev Cutting, and it has been my privilege to serve as your councillor for the past 14 years on West Grey, and 3 years prior to that on the Glenelg Township Council. I also am the owner-operator of a landscape design business and a property maintenance company, and I've had that for 21 years in this area. We operate in the spring, summer, and fall months, and during the winter months we do renovations and interior design work. I've lived in the former Glenelg Township for 28 years, and I chose to live in West Grey and to live there and raise my family. I am happily married to Rick, and we are celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary next month. I hope to go to Costa Rica. And we have 2 grown daughters, both that we're very proud of. This past 4 years has been very rewarding and also very challenging. The West Grey residents have proved their commitment to the environment by having a 65% municipal waste diversion rate, one of the highest in Grey County. Garbage and recycling continue to be a huge issue in all municipalities in Grey County. The over 76,000 pounds of e-waste, 16,000 pounds of styrofoam, 86,000 pounds of bale wrap, and thousands of tires have been diverted from our landfills. But that's just a beginning. We need to continue to divert as much as we can because it's going to be very difficult in the future to figure out landfill issues. I've had the honor this past term of council to work with amazing volunteers in the community. I've worked with the Parks Committee, and on that committee we continue to beautify West Grey with new parks, improving the old parks, adding treescapes, benches, bridge baskets, different entrance signs that are still ongoing but nonetheless are beautiful. There's the new ones down at 8 and have just been finished. Our goal is not only to make the residents proud of where they live, but also to encourage new businesses to come to the area and be in a community that cares enough to improve the urban and rural areas. Another volunteer group is the West Grey residents who have banded together in their opposition to the wind turbine project. I hope to continue working with that group and also just to push forward with that endeavor as far as the wind turbines are concerned. I do hope that you will support me in my re-election. It's Bev Cutting. Thank you.
Councillor candidate number 2, Don Eccles.
I'm going to try this one before we have the cord dragged all the way across. There we go. Just wrap it in this.
Oh.
The beauty of it is you can't turn me off. No.
I'll just wrap it up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, residents of West Grey. It's wonderful to see so many people out to participate in the decisions of the governance of West Grey. My wife Kathy and I live in Allen Park. We have 3 grown children, 2 of which who live here in West Grey. We also have one special grandson that my wife spoils. I don't. I'm employed by a local trucking company here in West Grey. I've had the privilege of representing you, the residents of West Grey, on council for the last 4 years, which has been a rewarding and fulfilling experience. I look forward to having the pleasure of serving you for the next 4 years. Normally, candidates take this opportunity to list their personal accomplishments and achievements. For me, I found the past 4 years as a growth experience in which I worked with other members of council as a team for the betterment of our community as a whole. I would like to express my visions for our municipality. We are all familiar with the concept of a glass half full or half empty. Well, I believe I'm a person who's just happy to have a glass, and I look for opportunities to fill that glass. I know this philosophy holds true for West Grey. I envision a municipality to be a place where our children and grandchildren can stay, be successfully employed, and raise their children. I believe our municipality can be appealing to businesses and provide them with great opportunities to thrive. I want West Grey to be a place where people seek out as a vacation destination and find the area so attractive they choose to stay here. The big question is, how do we do that? First, we need to work together with our neighboring communities, Southgate, Wellington North, Chatsworth, whoever. Most municipalities are continually competing with each other throughout Ontario for growth opportunities. By developing a cooperative relationship with our neighbors, we can improve our opportunities and increase our strengths. Secondly, we must have a move forward attitude. By supporting and encouraging our citizens to work, play, and stay here, we can inspire change. Our council must be committed to working together and sustaining this direction in all the decisions and actions as representative of its members. The thing I'm most proud of in my last term is not my personal achievements, but that I'm able to be an active participant in the community of West Grey. I've been able to see young people taking leadership roles in things as fair ambassador, livestock with 4-H, and many other community groups, which provides them with the essential skills to prepare these young people to be our future leaders. In the last 4 years, I've learned so much about our municipality, and especially its governance. I thank you for the past 4 years where I had the opportunity to serve my neighbors and friends as your council representative, and I ask for your support again on October 27th.
Councilor candidate number 3 is Doug Hutchinson.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming out this evening and taking interest in your local politics. My name is Doug Hutchison. I'm a retired educator with the Blue Water District School Board. Worked there for 29 years. Past 7 years, I was vice principal and principal. I have been married 41 years, and I have 3 adult children, and I'm a 35-year resident of West Grey. My experience is involved in a number of committees and clubs and so on, starting out with the Priceville Cemetery Board, Durham Curling Club, worked with the Durham, volunteered with the Durham Wood Show, Grey Roots Museum, been on a number of committees in town, from the Knox United Church to the Rec Board and so on. As a resident of West Grey, I've always had an interest in politics and what is happening in our community politically. As a council member, I believe it's important to listen to the public and take your concerns to the council meetings. As far as economic development goes, as a councillor, I feel I need to encourage businesses development in West Grey through incentive plans, grants, tax breaks, whatever means there are to get more people on our main streets. I'd like to see more job opportunities for our young people and encourage small businesses to tap into the apprenticeship programs or even co-op programs through our secondary schools. Also, I'd like to see our council continue to work with our local BIAs to revitalize our small town Main Street businesses, upgrade the storefronts, and remove dilapidated buildings. As far as the police is another issue that our council is dealing with right now. At present, the West Grey Police is looking for new headquarters. I personally toured the headquarters in Durham and realized why it no longer meets the needs of our force. I would like to see our council study all options before going ahead with this major expense. In the energy sector, obviously we've been struggling with a provincial decision to allow wind turbines in our area. I too am disappointed. in the decision of our provincial government and the Green Energy Act, which has taken away the power of our local councils. If this project goes ahead, then I would like to see that it meets current safety standards and benefits all our residents through taxes and fees. But I personally don't want to see our council spend any more money fighting the provincial government through the courts. In the environment end, I've always had a genuine interest in environmental issues going back to my teaching days when I spearheaded recycling programs in a number of schools. Our waste disposal sites need our attention, especially in Durham. We need to do everything we can to prevent pollution of groundwater sources and encourage recycling at every opportunity. In the recreation area is another area where I spent a lot of time either playing or organizing sports in West Grey facilities. I feel it's very important to encourage participation and that we support all our recreation activities and groups out there. My commitment to you is to take your concerns and commitments to council, push for increased employment and educational opportunities for our youth, investigate revitalization opportunities, continue to promote environmentally responsible decisions, and push for the most efficient use of your tax dollars. Thank you. Vote for Doug Hutchison. This is my brother Tom.
Councilor candidate number 4, Tom Hutchison.
Yeah. No, this isn't the Ford connection. Actually, coincidentally, we are not related at all, but who knows? I'd have to say after my dad has been gone 12 years now, but funny thing is, all his life he thought we were Scottish, and my mom actually did some research. I'm Irish descent, so I don't know where you're from. Anyways, good evening. Welcome to Ayton, and thank you for coming out. My name's Tom Hutchinson. I am a local resident right here in Ayton. I reside here with my wife Peggy of 27 years, and I have 3 children that are here in West Grey with us as well. And again, we welcomed our first grandchild, should be 2 this coming Christmas. I've only been in the community for, would be just probably coming up to 4 years. I currently am a president of a trucking company. I basically do the logistics and I establish budgets for the customers and match the trucks up accordingly. The first 2 years of being here, I was on the Norman B. Minor Hockey Board of Directors. And then the past 2 years, I worked with Durham Minor Hockey and the Norman B. Minor Hockey to successfully amalgamate the 2 centers to become West Grey Minor Hockey. Over the past 4 years, I've listened to concerns of the citizens from all areas of West Grey. The communities outside our main hub, which we classify as Durham, do not feel that they're getting their fair share of tax dollar revenues put back into our local smaller communities. I strongly believe it's time for a more open door policy so that citizens that make up West Grey can have their input on major decisions and or purchases. We have a tremendous number of well-educated people. I think we have some successful business leaders that we should reach out to and get their input to help with those particular decisions. I do not believe as an elected official it gives you the right for your freedom to do as you please. I'm an employee of you when you elect me, and I'll take ownership on the issues and the projects that lie ahead. I'm not all about looking backwards. Yes, there is some things that need to be dealt with. I'm all about moving forward. The retired citizens that paved the road for the future generations to thrive and live here, they simply feel that their tax contributions are coming back with minimal returns. The newer generation, the up and coming, I've been in touch with them. They'd like to see more emphasis on future development equally distributed throughout all of West Grey. I believe it's time for West Grey to have one representative from Glenelg, Normanby, Bentinck, Newstead, and Durham. I believe that will actually voice everybody's concerns across the board. Thank you. October 27th, Tom Hutchinson for council.
Good evening, I'm Carol Kraft. I'm looking forward to Election Day, October 27th. I would like to be a West Grey councillor because I have a genuine interest in the overall growth and development of this municipality. Throughout the 10 years my husband and I have resided in West Grey in Newstead, there has been a positive governance by previous councils. I will not make promises that cannot be delivered. I will listen to the electors' concerns and I will be their voice. I've always been involved with volunteerism in community affairs. I recently was awarded with the Queen's Jubilee Medal for my support with Parkinson's Society of Southwestern Ontario. I chaired Super Walk for Parkinson's and the Holstein Maple Fest in 2014. I'm an optimist and hold several positions within that organization, and I coordinate the Eat and Learn program at Spruce Ridge School in Durham, as well as assist with the curling program. My husband Dave and I relocated from Ingersoll 15 years ago. During that time that we lived there, I worked in London and I managed medical clinics at that time. Currently, I'm employed by Blue Water District School Board as an educational assistant. I would like to see an increase in economic development throughout West Grey to create employment opportunities and a strong future. Essential services, infrastructure, tourism, youth opportunities, youth activities, and the carbon footprint are all priorities for leading advancements and prosperity in West Grey. Balancing budgets is imperative, and at the same time we need to continue to develop to ensure attractions as per the strategic plan that has already been implemented by West Grey. West Grey is the largest in Grey County with a population of 12,000. Throughout the municipality, there is a diverse population made up of rural and urban dwellers. I would like to promote fairness and equality in all of West Grey. There are several issues of concern that need to be resolved, and that is West Grey does require a new police facility as we have outgrown the current location. We need to resolve current issues and move forward in 2015 to provide a facility that will comply with building codes and ensure the safety of our officers. The current council has selected land in west end of the municipality because of the availability of infrastructure. Hanover and West Grey Council will continue to discuss options for growth. Presently, there are land options available throughout West Grey for industrial growth. We must move forward and embrace change in order for West Grey to prosper. What I can bring to council is integrity, respect, equality, fairness, energy, enthusiasm, and a new perspective. Vote for tomorrow, vote Craft.
Councilor candidate number 6, Dennis Laver.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. A lot of what you've heard I have to say as well. My name is Dennis Laver. I live at R1 Elmwood in a small community called Harmal with my wife Gwen of 31 years. I have lived in Grey County since 1969, but for 5 years, it's been in West Grey. I presently work at the Hanover Care Centre Long-Term Care Retirement Home and have been a volunteer firefighter for 27 years. I've also been a volunteer with West Grey Minor Sports. Running for council, I would like to see more industrial growth within West Grey, making sure that West Grey is ready for the right industry, land services in place, industry and commercial development would equal quality of life opportunities for our residents in West Grey. I have strong supervisory skills. I have budget skills. I'm a very strong team player, responsible, and honest. I would like for your support on October 27th of October 27th of 14th. Sorry for scrambling there. And I appreciate your support. Vote Dennis Laver. Thank you.
Councilor candidate number 7, Harold Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and good evening, everyone. It's nice to see so many out in this beautiful day we had today, and it's nice that you have the interest. And I want to thank the Norman B. Optimist Club for hosting this event. Thank you very much. My name is Carol Lawrence, and I'm seeking re-election for one final term as a councillor. I've been on West Grey Council since amalgamation. The first term as Deputy Mayor and County Councillor, the next 3 terms as a councillor. I did have previous council experience before that. I'm presently the council appointee as a representative on the Normanby Rec Committee, the Newstead Rec Committee, the Elmwood Community Centre Board, West Grey Library Board, as well as other committees. I have thoroughly enjoyed working with the volunteer members of these committees and on their projects. Please see my brochure, the orange one on the chairs there, for my personal details. Happily married and kids and grandkids and my background. I have a good knowledge of West Grey and its diverse areas and needs, both rural and urban. In the 14 years since amalgamation, I have had the opportunity to learn from and work with many people. I would like to continue to use that knowledge and experience on your behalf. I make up my own mind. I stand by my convictions. I'm honest, dedicated, and have the energy to work hard for you. I believe the stand I took on the agreement with Hanover, re the Magwood land, is an example of my integrity. Although Jenny stole my words, I think you probably read in the paper that I did say a promise made is a promise to be kept. And we had promised them that we would not take their land. I listen to people and I take their issues forward where it's possible. There are several outstanding issues that I have been involved with, and I hope to have the opportunity to continue working on them, using my knowledge of the research and hard work that has gone before. I support keeping all libraries, arenas, halls, and fire halls open and operating. These are the heart of your communities, and by the way, they're all in pretty good shape. New handicap washrooms actually are coming to this arena in the spring. I support ongoing road, street, and sidewalk improvements in a planned, reasonably timed method, all the while keeping taxes as low as possible and the increase as low as possible. I support the concept of natural gas installation into Ayton and Newstead if grant money should become available. This would open up the southwest area of West Grey to industry and give the residents a choice of fuel. I am a proponent of sensible green energy, but I am opposed to wind turbines coming into our municipality. They should be placed in a sparsely populated area and not impact on people. These are just a few of my thoughts and convictions. Please read my brochure for more information. I ask for your support in giving me one more term to continue to work for you and to move the municipality forward. Please vote Carol Lawrence on October 27th. Thank you.
Our next councillor candidate, John B. Marshall.
Thanks, Wayne. Hi to everybody out here and everybody in TV land. And thanks for coming. It's nice to see a good crowd that takes the political process to heart. I'm going to rhyme off a number of things here. I can explain about them later if you'd like. The whole world is a changing fixture right now. The economy is on the decline, not what everybody wants to hear. We're going to be coming into peak oil here shortly, so the oil will decline. Probably people don't care about that, but they will. This council in the next 4 years has got a big job ahead of them. I think I mentioned 4 years ago that this same thing was going to happen, and it is sliding. We're all a little poorer, a little more soft than we were 4 years ago. And that's very pessimistic, but it's the truth. So, right now, our infrastructure deficit, and if everybody doesn't know what that is, our infrastructure deficit for the next 10 years, $124 million in West Grey. So everybody out there, be prepared to throw in $10,000 a year for the next 10 years into the West Grey kitty to keep our infrastructure like this arena up and running. Surprised. What I would like to do as a councillor in West Grey for the next 4 years, I believe that our police services, we're talking about building a new $3 million police station. We have to do a study on that. I believe that we have to study that because since I've been on council 8 years ago, the budget was $1.7 million. Now it's $2.8 million. I'm not sure if we can afford our own police force anymore, but I would like to see a study done to justify that. Fire services are the same. I think we should be doing a study on that. We have to provide the best fire protection we can with the money allotted. situation, Newstead. Newstead does not go into Bruce County. If they see a fire burning on the hill to the west, Mildmay's coming 20 minutes away. It's wrong. If somebody dies in that fire, heaven forbid the lawsuits that will happen to West Grey. Roads and bridges. We're going to be talking about roads and bridges closures. Roads closures because bridges are going to fall into the river. So we have to decide which roads we're going to keep open, which roads we're going to close. And that's going to be a big issue for the next 4 years in this council. Libraries. I don't believe we can afford a new library at this time. I would like to see a study done with amalgamating. We've all, oh, I'm not quite done, Mark. All right, well, I appreciate you listening, and I am very passionate about what I want to see done for West Grey to make it grow and to make it prosper, and it's not supporting Hanover. Thank you.
Councilor candidate number 9, Robert Thompson.
Thank you, Wayne. Thanks everyone for attending tonight, and my name is Rob Thompson, and I'm seeking a second term at council for the Municipality of West Grey. I born and raised in Durham. I've lived here my whole life. I've worked here my whole life. I was 33 years policing in this municipality, retired in 09 as your deputy chief. Came on council and almost 4 years ago and enjoyed it immensely. It's interesting, it's time consuming, but it's worth it. And I wish everyone here the best of luck. One of my, one of my goals here is we do have an issue in all our urban areas with the empty storefronts. And I'd like to see that changed. We need to attract business, bring more people into the area that are willing to open up new businesses and contribute. And as I say, we need your help in supporting these businesses. Shop locally. I know the big box stores are in the area and so on, and you get the better deals, but I think we owe it to the small business people. I'm a great supporter of small businesses. I do most of my business locally and try to do whatever I can possibly to help out the businesses. We've just heard about our roads and bridges. One of my main concerns, and there was just a study done 2 weeks ago on our bridges to see the conditions of them. I haven't got a report back from our public works manager, but I think we're not that bad in regards to bridges. We have almost 100 bridges within West Grey to manage, so I don't want to see a road closed because of a bad bridge. We had that a couple years ago where we replaced a bridge here in Normanby Township, and so anyways, we put a fiberglass top on that. It's worked well. It's a great bridge. It's a lot cheaper than refurbishing a whole new bridge, so there's that process. So anyways, as I said, I've been here and retired in 09 and became council. I'm married to my wife Marilyn for 34 years. We live in Durham. We have an adult daughter, 31, that works in Owen Sound, lives in Durham, and she works in Owen Sound Police Dispatch, so kind of followed in my footsteps a little bit too. So anyways, a couple other things, the small business supporters and the BIA and the Chamber. I've been on several committees during my past 4 years here on council, and I've really enjoyed them. We've had one committee that I was assigned to was the Durham Homecoming, and then the Elmwood Homecoming. Both very successful homecomings. It was well attended and well organized. When I come on a committee, I just don't sit there as a council rep. I get involved and I work hard and help the committee people. Here in Normanby and Newstead, the rec committees, I was here twice in a year for the play program. It's Play Bruce Grey, and actually won two years in a row. We won a first place. So anyways, I'm asking for your support on election day, October 27th, and give me a chance to continue my work with you guys. Thank you.
Councilor candidate number 10, Brian Wolf.
Thank you very much. Good evening and welcome. My name is Brian Wolf, and I'm running for a position on West Grey Council. My wife and I have lived in the former Bentic Township for the last 3.5 years. We are halfway between Durham and Hanover. We own and operate a small business in Durham for the past year and a half and have one full-time employee working for us. We operated the same business in Guelph for 16 years before moving to West Grey. I have sat on a number of different professional and church councils and committees. This is the first time I've run for a political office. If elected, I look forward to working with the council and making informed decisions while working with the residents of West Grey. I feel that West Grey needs fresh and new input. Our towns and villages need to be revitalized, and small businesses need to be encouraged to set up in these areas. This would then create jobs and development. Our downtown areas need to be re-energized and new businesses encouraged to fill the empty storefronts. I feel that West Grey needs to focus on these communities. They provide for the farm and rural areas. People of West Grey shouldn't need to travel to the cities. They should be able to get the majority of what they want or need in these communities. These communities need also to attract small industry. Even though West Grey is a large area, it is comprised of several different small communities. Each of these has its own unique features. West Grey as a whole would need to develop an overall plan incorporating all these unique features so that each community can be individual but operate as one complete unit. I'm not sure how this can be done, but it would require discussions with people from each of these areas. In closing, I'd just like to say that I've been listening to what people have to say about the area, and there are some concerns. However, I see a lot of potential here and would like to see West Grey flourish. Thank you, and I'm asking for your vote.
And our final councillor candidate this evening is Susan Salmon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, moderator Wayne, and fellow council candidates and deputy mayors. I kind of took a running toll here, and it's like 60 years experience, if my math is right, that we have sitting at this table on council, and hopefully we'll have many more good years. My name is Susan Zammett. I am a registered practical nurse and a long-term care home in Durham. I presently live in Durham with my husband, Charlie. We moved here in 2002, and we have been actively involved in the community, and we moved here because of Mr. T Donuts. And how many remember that store and that donut shop? That is no longer here, but we have remained. I am also a facilitator with the Parkinson's support group in Hanover, along with Carol. And our meetings are on Wednesday. And I also sing with the Grey Bruce Singers. I have been coming to the West Grey, or Durham especially, since the 60s because my family is here. I have camped in the area, in this beautiful campground area, for a number of years. We have our seasonal campers. And I also, my daughter actually stayed with us for a little bit, and she was on the West Grey Fire Department. I have 3 children and 3 beautiful grandchildren, which I spoil. I am running for one of the 5 positions on council. It's as a first term, and hopefully I will be voted in, because I do want to better serve my community, and the people that I've talked to have expressed a lot of concerns, and especially about the wind turbines and environment. There's a lot of concerns. I do have talked with them, and I have listened with them, and I do want to represent them and make a difference. Some of the main issues are the environment, the taxes, and accessibility. And as it said, the wind turbines have been an issue with some of our speakers tonight, as well as our taxes and the new businesses. Our environment is a concern right from you know, the fly around here, the farms, the wind farms to the garbage, and that's always going to be an issue, but it is nice to know that we have a recycling program and that our dumps are not becoming filled with these products. Okay, so as I mentioned, Mr. T is no longer in business. I would like to see more businesses come into West Grey and retain these businesses. I would also like to talk about the accessibility, which we do need to have that in our communities. As a final note, the name Zamet is last on your voting list, but vote for Susan Zamet first. Thank you.
Bruce Grey Catholic District School Board, West Grey, Hanover, Grey Highlands, and Southgate.
Thank you. As he said, my name is Robin Garvey, and I'm both humbled and excited to be acclaimed trustee for the Bruce Grey Catholic District School Board. And before I begin, I just want to say it's really great to be here. It's like coming home. I have very strong ties to this area. I grew up on a dairy farm just a few minutes up the road from here. And in fact, before getting married and moving to Elmwood, the West Grey side, I used to attend St. Peter's Catholic Church here in Ayton. So it really is a treat to be back here tonight. For the last 17 years, I have covered the Bruce Grey Catholic District School Board as a radio reporter for Bayshore Broadcasting News. This has provided me with a keen insight into the board and what it takes to be a good trustee. I am well versed with board policies, programs, business models, and Ministry of Education mandates. I believe in teamwork and fostering supportive relationships with students, staff, parents, and the community. As a mother of 5, I have a very vested interest in my children's education. I want my kids to have the best Catholic education system possible. This includes the need to protect and safeguard what makes our system so unique, our Catholicism. And while I fully support the need to provide a strong academic foundation for students, I believe it's even more important to ensure we have nurtured their souls. The greatest lesson we can teach our students is that they have great worth. If every student truly knew how valued and loved they are by God, what confident and resilient youth they would be. I'm also well connected with my home parish, Holy Family Church in Hanover, where I now live. I have been involved in church ministry most of my life. I am currently a member of the choir. My 2 oldest boys are altar servers, and my husband has been an active member of the Knights of Columbus for almost a decade. I am so grateful for the opportunity that has been awarded me, and I look forward to my new role as trustee. I do not take this responsibility lightly, and I vow to do all I can to serve as a worthy advocate for parents and students and a guardian of the faith. Thank you very much.
Thank you, candidates, for those comments and your introductions of yourself and your lives. I'm going to, if you want, just stand up. We're not going to have a break or anything, but if you just want to stand up, you've been sitting for an hour, and you just want to shake out those wiggles, please do so. Okay, thank you. And I know I did see a few people dodging off to the washrooms, but they'll be back shortly. Perhaps this is the time that many of you have been waiting for. So we're going to get on with the question time, your opportunity to ask questions of the candidates as soon as everyone is seated. It has been mentioned that we are being videotaped this evening. The evening's program is going to be broadcast via Channel 6 Wightman, and if you are not able to access that, then you can view the proceedings on the West Grey website. So either the Channel 6 Wightman or the West Grey website are available. Our intention is to be finished by 9 o'clock. We've spent the first hour listening to the candidates present themselves, and if you have a burning issue or a burning question, you don't get a chance to ask it, I'm sure most of the candidates will stick around for a little while after the proceedings tonight, and you can address your questions to particular candidates at that time. We're going to have a code of conduct, and hopefully everybody will respect that code of conduct when you are addressing questions to the candidates. We'd ask you, when you have a question, to come to the microphone where Marg Rapp is standing.
Testing.
And she's testing, and it is working. Awesome. Please direct your question to a specific candidate, if you can, rather than a generic to all the candidates. It just speeds up the process. We're going to give you 1 minute to make your comments and present your question if you need that amount of time. And if you're absolutely really shy and can't speak into a microphone, write it down on the back of one of these pamphlets that are on our chairs, and we'll make sure your question is asked. The candidate will have 1 minute to respond, the candidate of your choosing, and other candidates may be allowed to respond to the question, but we don't want to have things repeated over and over and over again. We'll expect all of the guests and candidates to use a reasonable decorum in their presentation and in their questions and in their comments so that we can have a fair and equitable discussion. I will try to make sure that we work productively and in a respectful manner to everyone. If somebody happens to act out of line, just like school, we'll ask you to leave the event immediately. We take the security and respect of all of the candidates and the guests very seriously. Candidates, please respect each other as well and try not to speak over one another when they're making comments or answering a question. And please speak to each other in a civilized manner, and I know that doesn't have to be said. We ask candidates to present their own platform. Try not to criticize other candidates or their opinions. And most of all, the audience, please respect the candidates, applaud their great ideas, and show your support rather than applauding just for the candidate themselves. Are there any questions about our code of conduct before we proceed with question 1? And so far, I don't see a whole bunch of people running to the microphone. Who would like to be number 1? Step up to the microphone, please. Okay, question 1.
Okay.
Could you give your name as well?
Yeah. My name is Marion Ratcliffe. I live in the East Durham wind turbine study area. My question is directed at Christine Robinson. If the proponent of a solar, wind, aggregate, or other project, such as NextEra, offers a community benefit funding, would you be willing to spend the money to benefit those directly affected by the project?
I would certainly hope that there would be that money proposed to come forward. I think that that makes a lot of sense. I think as a council, we need to have that dialogue. I think that also needs to be out in the, for the citizens to have an opportunity to have a discussion and put their comments forward. Now that being said, as mayor, as the leader, I would encourage a discussion at the council table, but have that open to the citizens to have their input into that discussion. As a person, if you're looking for an extension to your answer, I would say it makes an absolute lot of sense to have that money put in to the benefit of the community. I think it has to be determined how that money will be used in a discussion. Now, I preface that by saying that it does need input, discussion, and we need to look at all sides. I hope that answers your question. Do you need anything additional?
Nope.
Okay, thank you very much.
Do any of the other candidates wish to respond to that particular question? Yes, Heidi?
I'll stand up. I need the shaking off. Yeah, I agree with you, Marion, that that community, if the benefit fund comes forward, it has actually not been put back on the table since it was first introduced by Nextera. We have sent back a formula and an agreement, and that has not come back to us, and that was about 8 months ago, so I'm not sure that it's still on the table. However, if it is on the table and they will do something with the community benefit, I, for one, agree that that money should go directly back to the residents that are having to put up and losing property values, et cetera, with this wind turbine project. The amount of, just the trucks and the disruption that's going to happen over the next year or two building this particular project, and the fact that the property values do decrease with wind turbines, that's a known fact, that's provincially approved, then I do believe that that money should go back directly to the people who are being affected by the project.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll take another question. Please step up to the microphone. Your name, please, before the question.
My name is Janice McKechnie, and I live in Durham. I think my question is to Rob Thompson, and it's concerning the economic development and the improvement of not just Durham's downtown area, but Ellenwood and Newstead and Ayton. I think you touched base on that when you were making your comments. Would you like to maybe enlarge on that and give us an idea what you're thinking about?
Yeah, thank you. What I was looking at is we need to develop our downtown in all urban areas, Ayton, Newstead, Elmwood, and in Durham. We have a lot of stores that are closed. What I would propose to do is work with the Chamber of Commerce, the business improvement people within Newstead and West Grey, and come up with a plan. I strongly feel that advertising and bringing forward a positive aspect towards West Grey by advertising it out in the media and getting out the word that we are here and we're willing to do business and will attract other people. Just quickly, 2 years ago I met with the Ministry of Natural Resources in regards to our fishing to bring back tourism into our area like I promised 4 years ago. I met with a small group, myself and some fishing clubs out of Kitchener and local campground owners here that are doing their programs. And I've noticed the last 2-3 years the fishing has increased in our rivers and streams. By doing that, the ministry wouldn't stock the stockfish with the wild fish because they don't like that. But they actually did. They actually come in after our talk and start stocking. These are the type of things I want to work with the Chamber and the BIA to put these stores back into operations because we do need them. We can't even buy any, you go to Elmwood, I don't think you can buy a bag of chips or a bottle of pop there anymore. There's nothing there. I mean, we got to start working and improving, and that's what council needs to do.
Any other candidates with Christine? I think she needs a microphone.
Thank you. Our downtown cores, our village main streets are drying up, and that makes me very sad, and we need to do something about it. What I'm thinking that we should do, first off, as the first plan of attack, if you will, is have a think tank. Now, don't be scared off by that term, but this is just how I want to describe it. We have a lot of people that know about retail in all different types of industry that are in West Grey. They're in home-based businesses, they're on our main streets. There are people in this audience that know about economic development. I think we need to harness all that energy and all the solutions as phase one. And maybe out of this discussion, we could come up with some low cost, no cost, or maybe some cost improvements so that we can actually fill our storefronts and have viable business in there. We do have fantastic shops in there. I shop as much as I can in our urban cores or our village cores. I think that's really important. I walk the talk. And at the beginning, I'd like to see a discussion with our experts. And then if we need to fan out, we will do that, and we will make West Grey prosper.
I was out in Durham today talking to the shop owners, and I heard today something very interesting. Here's a no-cost solution right away. Apparently, the garbage day has been changed from Fridays to Mondays in Durham downtown. So what happens is people who live in the downtown will put their garbage out on Friday, go away for the weekend, or those store owners who aren't around will put their garbage on the street for the whole weekend. So all those tourists driving up to go to their cottages are driving by all this garbage on the street. And all you have to do is change that garbage day instead of Monday, which is what it is now, put it back to Friday so that you can have that picked up before the weekend. Doesn't cost you a cent, keeps that downtown looking clean, and maybe have people stop and buy something before they go to their cottage. So that's an idea. Where does it come from? From the people. I think there are lots of great ideas out there, and it's all doable. There's lots of great ideas. We can get them done.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Susan?
I agree with everyone. It is important, to have our garbage picked up. It is important to have a clean town. Like I said, I've been coming to Durham since the late 60s, and it really hasn't changed that much. When you drive through Newstead or Ayton, and we see a lot of derelict buildings. We need to improve. We need to make it inviting for the tourists, especially Highway 6. And on a holiday weekend, you certainly do see back-to-back traffic. So therefore, let us all work together to shop in our own towns and make it inviting. And let's retain our businesses. We have a lot of entrepreneurship, but let's retain those businesses as well.
Yes.
I guess the first thing we should do is not bother fixing the roads so people don't drive to Hanover or to Owen Sound or to Guelph or Kitchener or Mount Forest. Society's changed dramatically, and we haven't really changed our focus on retail. Home hardware won't start a small home hardware store as we have looked through economic development in downtown Ayton. It doesn't have the size, it doesn't have the capacity to be able to get the delivery. Those are some of the things we have to look at. We have to look, though, at a different type of retail. There's been a few people here talk tonight, and recognizing the entrepreneurs that we have out there, the home business we have out there, and being able to support them stronger than what we are probably right now. That idea of some of the craft people we have and those individual entrepreneurs need to be expanded on and exposed. Possibly, the Municipality of West Grey can do some advertising and help in that direction, but the idea of still doing what we did 20 years ago and expecting a different result, well, we know what Einstein said about that. So we are looking, and I give you my word, to look at a different type of retail, because the way we've gone and evolved, and it's going to change dramatically in the next 5 years more than it has in the last 15 years.
I'd just like to say I agree with what's being said here, and I too have talked to a number of people in the villages, and one of the things that some people have mentioned is that, first of all, it'd be nice to get rid of some of the old buildings that are sitting on our main streets that are not doing anything to our town but cause a poor eyesore, and I think we need to get some of those cleaned up. Also, I think, as Kevin has mentioned, that things have changed, and really to be on Main Street in these small towns, you really have to have a unique business. And I think we need to do something as a council, any way we can encourage, whether it be through incentive programs, whatever, to encourage a unique business in the town so that people will stop and visit those stores. And the other thing I think that goes along with that is tourism, whether it be fishing or whatever reason that people come into town. I think they, we could do a better job of promoting our area for tourists, and it's a great area. We have a lot of super attractions, but we need to push that area because that will bring money into our towns. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the last 4 years, and in fact the last 8 years, there's been a real push by this council for beautification of downtown and all the urban areas. The amount of flower baskets, hanging baskets, streetscapes, bridge baskets, and all the volunteers that have now become involved with that alone has produced a number of tourists stopping in the areas. There was a number of people who, suddenly saw these beautiful baskets. We've had letters from tourists going through saying, I had no idea that it was that pretty until I stopped and looked and saw the bridge, saw the river, saw the water. So there are things going on that are being done. If you can have people driving through stop and go, wow, this is really a nice town, then they stop, they walk, they buy a coffee, they do something else. Maybe they look at an empty store and they think, that's great, we'll open a business here. You have to make the towns attractive to the drive-throughs. They're not just going to stop, if there's not a reason to stop. So I think that's a big part of what's happening. Anybody who wants to volunteer to do that would be fabulous. You can phone the municipal office. We always like to have volunteers on any of the committees, and certainly the ones that are beautifying West Grey need your help. So you can call the office and get on a list. Thanks.
This will be the last. Dennis Labour will be the last speaking on this subject, but that doesn't mean you can't approach the candidates after the meeting.
I agree with what's being said, the cleanup of the towns, of all the towns and streets, just to make it look pleasant to come in. I ride with the Red Knights Motorcycle Club. It's a bunch of firemen with a motorcycle addiction, and I've traveled through the States and even through West Grey. Last year we had our Ontario 3, Chapter 3, Grey Bruce Motorcycle Club. We held our convention in Owen Sound, and we had people here from Ohio, we had people here right from Ottawa, clear down to Windsor, and even up north as well. We had almost 130 bikes here, and we took them up along the trails, and they just couldn't believe how beautiful it was here. But it was mentioned, like, on the way through, a lot of places, just could use a little cleanup. And I know a lot of places that everybody's got in their mind right now that does need to be looked after, and I agree with what's being said here. We need to get tourism to help this trade, especially with small stores. It's tough to compete with the big boxes. Thank you.
So if anybody wants to still address that particular question, please speak to the candidates after. Are there any other people coming to the microphone to ask a question?
My name is Jim Hodge. My question is to Christine. Would you tell the folks here what direction you're going to take the council in the next 4 years?
Thank you. We're going to move the municipality forward. We want to, as a council, it will be imperative to engage the citizens more than what's being done. So my first priority with the new council will be to put forward a 4-year budget, and I think what has to come first off is that we dialogue with the citizens. So we will go out to the communities, find out what the community needs are, what the services that are important to everybody, and what level of service that individuals are looking for, and establish a 4-year budget by which this council, the new council, will operate. But there's other activities that need to take place simultaneously. There needs to be a bylaw review of all the bylaws that are on the books to determine whether they are still relevant, whether they are obsolete, whether they are specific to individuals where they shouldn't be. So the bylaw review is important. We also need to do reviews of our services in terms of the departmental operations and the capital activities that take place. Engagement and community dialogue is essential, so we need to get back out to the public so that there's a two-way conversation and that you know what's going on, less in-camera sessions, and that every decision of council will have a recorded vote. I have a lot more to say on that topic, and I'm hoping to have a discussion with citizens after this meeting here.
Somebody else go first? If you want me to. I guess I got to respect what the moderator said, so I won't be challenging anything that my fellow competitor is saying. But in the next 4 years, I see us being more, as I said in my opening remarks, trying to develop a partnership with the rest of the municipalities, and no different than any other farmer that is in Normanby Township, Bentinck, Glenelg, or across the road, of how to work closely together to accomplish better results for all of us. The biggest thing about I know since I've come on to council, I probably have gained a couple of pounds, because the Newstead Lions Club has a couple of dinners every year. Well, as a matter of fact, they have 5 or 6 dinners. I try to get out and be involved in the community. And as I said earlier, I grew up in the community, and I think that is a lot better forum to be out, whether it's at auction sales, whether it is out on a daily basis, whether it's on Main Street, or at those functions that are put on. That's where the conversation in the field, and have a feel for the pulse of the community, where you're going to get that ideas coming forward.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, through you, I'll throw this one to Rob Thompson. I'm Ron Hills. I started in business here in 1974. In this type of situation, I look at businesses 2 types, one that bring money to town and those that circulate it within town. A lot of stores only circulate money that is in the area. We need factories. We need big business here to bring money to the town, and then the stores can prosper. The stores that are empty downtown are because nobody can make a living out of those stores. We have to get more money in town before more stores can survive. Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. You're right, and unfortunately, over the years, the council in the past has worked hard on the economic development aspect to attract industry, and like any other community, I don't care where you, Wellington or Grey Bruce, every community is having difficulties attracting industry. Nobody recognizes anything north of Highway 7 anymore. I mean, we're up here and we're trying to do what we can, and if you don't, people that live in this area have to support the small business people. We've had stores that have opened and have closed shortly thereafter because there's been no support from the local people, and I think we have to support them. And I know it maybe costs a little bit more than you could buy at Walmart, but hey, you're supplying our local people. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that work at Walmart that live in West Grey too. So, you know, I mean, everybody's around. So you got to share the wealth and try to shop locally and support it. And I know industry is going to be a difficult thing to attract, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. It's going to be a long, long time before we see anything come north.
Thank you. I go to the Walkerton Market. I met a man there who makes six figures, a young man there who's come back to Walkerton to do his business. He's a crochet artist, and he has a YouTube channel. And he sells crochet patterns on this YouTube channel to six figures, and he loves it here. I think that, yes, Rob's right, the big manufacturing industry days are probably past, but I think there is really a new frontier. It's knowledge workers. They can work from their computers. It's art professionals who can work from their homes, and it's clean tech energy systems that are coming up. So I think there's also lots of room for hope if we can support these small businesses and create a village where they want to hang out and spend their money at a local cafe, because this kid, he was making a pile of dough. Crochet patterns, how about that? So we haven't thought of everything yet, okay? Don't worry.
I just wanted to say on the issue of big business and big factories, I don't believe we're ever going to attract the big factory. What we need are small industry, many with a few people in each. And you're probably all aware, but Interforest has been sold, and apparently the prospect there is to start small incubator units to start small business, and from that you would hope it would grow. So I'm hoping that, you know, anyone that does have a home business and might be interested in getting out and getting a little larger might look at that. We also had quite an interesting proposal put to council a couple of meetings ago, and that was to start a permanent farmers market in town. And wonderful idea, and she had a lot of background in that kind of work and a lot of good ideas. And if council could help something like that to get started, she was looking on the scale of St. Jacobs, not so large to start, but not just a small one. And we have so many artisans in the area, so many craft people, and so many people who could sell their local produce that they grow. If we could start something like that, we need a catalyst to do something for our downtown and then spread out to all of our areas in West Grey and try to bring it back, because I agree with everything I hear. I could just cry when I go down the main streets. So if we encourage and beautify and shop at home, I'm hoping we can bring it back.
I agree with what people are saying there, but also I think to go along with that is I have two neighbors in my neighborhood that have home-based, work out of their home, not home-based business, but work out of their home. And that's, I think, one of the things that will help in our area is the high-speed internet. That I know there's a push for that. And along with that is the bringing natural gas to communities, because I think that will help some businesses to compete and stay in the area and not have to pay maybe the big hydro bill if they can use natural gas to subsidize their heating and so on. So I think you know, society is changing. We do have a lot more people working from home, using internet and creating small businesses that way. And I think that's something we have to look at and deal with and support them. Thank you.
Okay, we have a lot of assets in West Grey, and we also have partnerships. So let's not forget about the airport. I think that is fantastic that West Grey has a partnership with an airport that we're involved in. We have incredible downtown cores that need assistance. And I think one of the ways that we can, as a municipality, is definitely promote through marketing and communication. And we'll draw on the experts from our community to assist in this fashion. Definitely online sales, the TV shopping channels, specialty markets, they're all in competition, and it's how we're going to harness all of this economic development energy and actually make a prosperous West Grey. So there's a lot of work. There were a lot of fantastic ideas at the table here, and it's a benchmark that we need to succeed in and to make sure that we pay attention to our economic development, and that is definitely with retail and various industries. There's agricultural industries that we need to pay attention to. We certainly have the retail, industrial, and we also have to keep care of other economic development drivers, and that is our hospital, that we have a school in town, and we just have to keep sacred what we have and build upon it.
Okay, we're going to close off discussion on that particular question. Are there any other questions at the microphone? Joyce Weaver, I believe, was next.
Joyce Weber. My question is to Kevin Eccles, but I preface it with the comment with regards to what Carol has mentioned, starting at a market downtown, and I assume she's thinking of Durham, and then spreading out to the wider communities. And I do take exception to that. My question to Kevin is, with regards to the police station, or the headquarters, was Normanby, in particular Ayton, considered as a possible location for the headquarters? If not, why not? And what is going to happen to benefit the life in Normanby Township if that's not the case?
I wish I could say, Joyce, that we didn't need a police station at all, that everybody was law-abiding and we could just get rid of police, but it's not going to happen. No, and I'll be very upfront with you, Joyce. Ayton was not considered simply because of its geographical location within West Grey. Durham, when you take a look at where West Grey is, and the possibilities are still out there. We're right now with a number of municipalities looking at their OPP contracts of the Municipality of West Grey supplying service to them. I think everybody's read in the newspaper or heard on the media reports that the Municipality of Meaford is looking at that right at the present moment, of having a municipal police force and stepping away or investigating the ability to do that. I can say that there has been comments from other municipalities, and they are starting to heat up. And being on Highway 4 and County Road 4 and Highway 6 would make a lot more sense in looking forward into the vision of where policing is going to go. To say what would happen or how can we improve or make Normanby, I think Carol had mentioned it, was our aspect of going towards more at-home or home-based industries where you work at home for 3 or 4 or 5 days. And we've seen what's happened in Katy with the Katy market, and we think that there is capacity for that to happen in the area at some point or someplace. And the elephant in the room is the Rona building is the one that we're looking at on a short-term basis, starting with the Christmas theme type of craft in the 1st of November through to December, and then working to expand that. So that would help out those home-based industries within Normanby or Glenelg, Newstead or Ayton or Elmwood, Priceville to Flesherton or beyond.
Ed Cutting and then Carol Lawrence.
Yeah, just to clarify, this the market system that they're talking about, that they made the presentation to council for a couple of weeks ago, they are volunteers that are looking to do this to try to revitalize a downtown area. there is nothing stopping other volunteers from getting together, forming a committee, and, trying to do this in other communities. This is just their choice of community, and that's why they came to council to see about the Rona building. But there's other buildings, and if there's vacant buildings, there's no reason why something like this, especially in places like Ayton and Newstead that have a number of craft people in here and artisans, there's no reason why something like that can't be started by a volunteer group.
Thank you. I think Bev pretty much covered what I wanted to say. I just wanted to clarify to Joyce, that was not council's proposal. It was a proposal that came to us, and Durham happened to be the place that she was talking about. But as Bev said, there's nothing to stop it. We could be as big as Katy, we could be as big as St. Jacobs, as I mentioned before, and think of the people we'd bring in, and what the spin-off would be, the immediate spin-off of buying meals, buying gas, maybe groceries, clothes, but hopefully business is starting because you're bringing people in, you have a captive audience. So things are like that, which isn't a big factory, but that type of thing is what we would hope to promote here. As I said, there's so many artisans, so many farm gate markets that could come into a market here, or Newstead, or Durham. But I just wanted to clarify, Joyce, it wasn't a council's proposal, it was a private presenter to us.
Yeah, just to get back to that, Joyce, in regards to the police station, and what Mayor Eccles is saying is correct. I just wanted to remind the people that aren't from Ayton area or Normanby Township, there is a substation for the police at the fire hall. They have an office there, so the officers are, well, at least when I was there, were assigned to that office, and hopefully they still are, and they make themselves available to the residents of Normanby Township. So just to add that to it, there is an office here in Ayton, and the officers are assigned to it, so I'm hoping they're still using it. And I haven't been around for almost 5 years, but I was there last fall, I suppose, when we opened the library, and looked at the police station and at the front part of the fire hall. So there is an office there, so that may help a little bit.
Thank you, Wayne. As mayor, I would sell the Rona building. You do not need that in West Grey. For West Grey purposes, I would put a for sale sign on the Rona building. Thank you.
Anyone else on the candidate table? Okay, any other questions at the microphone?
It's odd to say that one person is going to make a decision to put a sign on something that's been talking about teamwork. If it's a decision of council that should be sold, then that's the way it should go.
Sorry, that's all right.
Yeah, my name's Jim Gow. This is a question for the present council. They've spent a lot of money over at the arena, fixing up the kitchen and just inside decorating. One thing they forgot is they didn't do anything for the accessibility of the washrooms. 2 weeks ago I was over there, and I don't know who the lady was, but she was in a wheelchair. Twice, ladies come along and opened up the washroom door for her. Third time, there was no ladies there. A guy got up. You have to walk in so that she can come in by you. So he goes into the ladies' washroom to hold the door open for her. Accessibility says you don't have to do it till 25. Here you're talking about building up a Main Street. Accessibility won't approve because it isn't accessible, because all of them got steps, or most of them. But how come there wasn't accessible buttons for the washroom doors?
Anyone on the present council wish to address that? Mayoral?
You're very correct in what you say. At the time that the arena renovations were done, we were advised we didn't need the push buttons because there was a low, I think they're called low pressure openers, supposed to be 4 pounds is all it takes. I have brought it up to council different times that we do need buttons there, and I would continue to push that because they're too heavy, and absolutely they need. We made everything else accessible, but if you can't open the door, it's no good. So I would continue and will continue to push to get those in there. We actually need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them on those washrooms.
Anyone else in the present council? If not, then Susan. Seeing none, okay, Rob.
Sorry. Yeah, as the, I guess I'm the council rep for the Recreation Department and also the chair, and we have a meeting tomorrow night, and I'm going to bring that forward to our manager. We did discuss this a while ago, and I'll get back to you, Jim, in regards to the information pertaining to that, and it is budget time, so I think it's something that needs to be done and addressed real quick here. So tomorrow night I'll be addressing that issue.
Accessibility is very dear to me because you don't have to be in a wheelchair to be disabled. I am awaiting hip surgery, both hips, and hopefully not at the same time. That is one of the issues that will be addressed, I'm sure will be resolved with the new council in the upcoming years, because we have a lot of buildings in town that are not accessible, public use buildings. People that are in wheelchairs can't go up steps, they can't use our washrooms, they can't open doors, and it is a big problem in washrooms when they do have, and in my little pet peeve, when they do have an accessible stall and out comes somebody that doesn't need to use that stall. I hope that we can, move quickly on the accessibility, and I know our library will need to be upgraded with that, and I believe the elevators are coming, aren't they, to the arenas? Or they're in now? Okay. So, let's hope that we can address these issues and be patient with those with disabilities because we don't move as fast as others.
Thanks, Wayne. You're exactly right, Jim. Probably, and I'll be the first one to say, the building committee, we were informed that the doors that were on there would work. Any of us that have done any work, sometimes we get it wrong. And it looks like that's what we did, so we'll have to look at ways to correct it. As Carol said, we've got a Trillium grant. These ones, not quite accessible either, but that is what it was supposed to go ahead this fall, or before the ice went in. Scheduling didn't allow that to happen, so in the Normanby Arena here, we'll be redoing the washrooms and the accessibility aspects here. I mean, we've got the front door done, and hopefully we'll get it right when we do it here. I believe, and Carol, you're on that building committee too, and I see Ken Diemert here as well for the, and Alicia Lantz on building the Newstead Hall when we refurbished that, and I think we got it right there. Certain I haven't had any complaints about the same thing that you've had, and we'll work to continue to get it right. I'm just saying, sometimes you don't get it right the first time, you got to go back at it.
Anyone else? Are there any other questions at the microphone? I have had one question handed to me, and each one of the candidates, please answer. Keep it very simple, yes or no. Do you own property and pay taxes in West Grey? Start with the mayor.
Yes.
Yes, I own property in West Grey, and I pay taxes.
Yes.
2 properties.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I do, and sometimes I think they're too much.
No.
Yes.
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 No.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Which is it? Yes.
Yes, I own property and lease a property in West Grey.
Yes, I do own property in West Grey.
Any other questions at the microphone? Bill?
My name is Bill Scriven. And the question I have, I heard nothing about any cost savings, and I could direct my question to either Kevin or Rob or somebody on council. I might say that I personally, as a farmer and taxpayer, I've been exceptionally pleased with the present council. I think they're approachable. Municipal government is approachable. But the police budget kind of bothers me. Crime has dropped statistically over the last 5 years, 2 to 3%. Wages have gone up tremendously. The last time I checked with the economic development, males in West Grey made about 36,000, females about 24, and we have a number of constables that are over 100,000. And I'm just wondering, is this going to keep increasing, or is the arbitration process going to be reformed so that we can control these costs at a better rate? Either Kevin or Rob or anybody on council. Thank you ever so much.
Kevin, you want to start, and then we'll let Bev.
Yes, that was pointed at me as being chair of the Police Services Board. Thanks, Bill. It has been driven, the arbitration process. I have the unique ability of being chair of the West Grey Police Services Board. I also have the privilege of serving on the Ontario Association of Police Services Boards, which is the association for all police services boards in Ontario. For the last 2 years, I've also sat on a committee that has tried and is still working on what's called collaborative bargaining, on trying to get ahead of the whipsawing effect that it's had on contracts and the leapfrogging that has happened with our contracts, and showing that policing costs 85 to 89% is wage driven, and to say that the boards themselves have done a good job of negotiating would be a tremendous stretch. I think we've done a decent job in West Grey on trying to keep it at a 2 to 3% increase per year since West Grey expanded the municipal police force for the whole service. And I share your absolute concern about policing, but the arbitration process is driven by the province. We have initiated and spoken to a number of provincial ministries about that, and certainly through OAPSB as well too. And there are a lot more controls that are legislatively enforced on us from the Police Services Act, which is in the province. I just met with the minister 3 weeks ago and the executive of the OAPSB, which this year I'm vice president of, and we have it from the minister that in this term they will be opening up the Police Services Act. We can't fire policemen. It's just the way it is. You've got to go through a huge protractive way of downsizing, and it's impossible to do that with the way the legislation is written right now. So we will have to get that Police Services Act, and that's what we're going to be going forward to, and try and get some of those positive economic returns.
I think somebody somewhere should have a bearing that we have the highest police costs in the world.
Yes.
In Ontario, the highest in the world. We have people. Pardon me? Oh, hydro too.
Somebody said hydro.
I'm just talking about police. You can talk about hydro. The problem, Kevin, is at 100,000. Like somewhere, there's got to be a reality check here. In the major cities in the states, first-class constable makes $57,000. That's standard right across the U.S. $57,000, top wages. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but our police budget is very high. Do we need that many police? Do we need that many at 100,000? These are just questions I think that somebody should address because it's really non-sustainable. It's non-sustainable. People can't pay that much.
And it is certainly something that, was that for Wayne or for Bill or me? That was Bill, good. Okay, you're exactly right. And there's been a number of organizations come forward. One of the ones that I can tell you about is the Mayor's Coalition. Jerry Marshall, Peter Politis. Jerry Marshall is from Midland. Peter Politis is from Kapuskasing. Both those municipalities have said that their costs are going through the roof and they can't be sustainable. Both of those municipalities are OPP. And that was the coalition of mayors under the OPP have come forward and have been lobbying the provincial government on ways to look at it. The province is engaged in it, but I'm not sure that they're taking it serious enough to give us the relief that we need right away. But it will be my commitment from OAPSB, being a member there and the chair of the Police Services Board in West Grey, is to find a way to open up the Police Services Act and get at that. That's core to where we've got to go first. I'm going to turn it.
I have one, Kelly. Yes, I also sit on the Police Services Board. I'm vice chair. I have been on that board for 14 years, and I was actually instrumental in producing and going through the motions before amalgamation to see whether we were going to expand the Durham Force to have our own, or whether we were going to go OPP, or whether we were going to go Hanover, Saugeen Shores, how we were going to do this. So I've been involved with policing for 17 years in this municipality. I'm also chair of the negotiating committee, and I'll tell you, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that drives me more crazy than negotiating contracts. And it is so frustrating because it is driven by the province. The standards are set by the OPP rates that they get. It is an extremely strong, they call it an association, it's a union, an extremely strong association. If things are taken to arbitration, the arbitrators come down with very discouraging legislation that we have to pay this, we have to pay that. We just can't seem to get a handle on it, and we are lobbying and have lobbied for the last 14 years. I've been lobbying for a better system for pay equity, benefits, everything. It's just over the top and out of control, and it has to stop. So we are well aware of that. So.
Anyone else on council wish to respond? Mr. Marshall.
I think you're absolutely right, Bill, that it's unsustainable. And when you get 80 to 90% of the budgets for wages, then I believe that that is where the cuts have to come, either with less officers or less pay.
Anyone else before we take another question from the mic? Okay, this will be the last comment from council on this issue.
The other thing I'm hearing from the shopkeepers in Durham is that they've got cars parked in front of their shops for sometimes days. And they have asked the police to enforce the 2-hour parking limit. And the police have told them that it's not right for them to be chalking tires, and they don't feel that they can do that. One of my issues is I would like to see the officers in the West Grey Police Force do more. I'd like to see them foot patrol. I'd like them see them moving those cars so the shopkeepers can have lots of people coming into their stores. And I don't know, worst comes to worst, let's get them doing more fundraising. Let's put them together in a calendar, and with some, I don't know, like let's get creative and make them work for this money, so that we can see the money come back to us until we can actually change the provincial law. This doesn't seem like they're doing much to earn this money, so that's a concern of mine. Yeah, you like that?
The lady at the microphone, please.
Yes, I guess my question is concerning the budget, and what amounts of money comes from the maybe the county, and that would be, it also would come from the province to help subsidize our police budget. Is there a formula there?
Yeah, there is I'm not sure if there's-
And are we privy to what the percentages are?
I can tell you the amount we receive. It says
dollars won't help me. Though.
Oh,
if you can
yeah. Well,
tell me
percentages are not my thing, so I'll tell you what. We'll give you the dollars, and if you want, I can figure out the percentage and let you know. But I can't do percentages in my head.
Oh, okay. Well, then to back up a little bit, what's the total budget for the police for West Grey for a year?
I believe it's 2.35 or something. In
Okay,
that.
and so what dollar value do we get back from the province or from the?
Well, the province, because we have our own municipal force.
Yep.
We receive, I believe, last year was 600, Kevin, or 620,000.
Not last year. Before you go much further, our transfer payments from the province.
Yep, transfer, that's right.
Up until 2 years ago,
Yeah.
it did include a portion that was directly related to municipal policing.
Right.
Okay.
2 years ago, that formula changed, so it's all incorporated. But if you wanted to really kind of back it out, it doesn't indicate policing has a line
Specifically.
anymore, specific.
Really?
No, but if, going down through it, municipal policing, as I said, it's just for general. It's not broken out. The last time I asked Carrie to look at that, who's our director of finance, Bev is about right. It's somewhere between the 500,000 and 600,000 that could be attributed, but the province doesn't do it that way anymore.
No.
It's just where you think that the formula is. But that's as close as we could get.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? The microphone. Have about 1 or 2 more minutes to ask your questions, and then we're going to probably adjourn for this portion.
It's Marion Radcliffe again. My question is directed to Jenny Parsons. You've indicated that you do not wish to spend any more tax dollars, et cetera, fighting the wind turbines. I've heard a lot tonight about bringing business and tourists and whatnot into this community. I don't believe that wind turbines are going to help us with that. Are you willing to stand up with this community and fight these turbines and stop them?
The answer is yes. I would fight them because I believe they are dividing our community, because I think that the policy has been implemented very poorly, because I think that we're not benefiting as a community. It looks like a company from Florida is getting all the benefit. I definitely want to fight the wind turbines. I would like to do it without taxpayer dollars. I think the last court fee that we've been ordered to pay was $15,000. To me, that's so much money that could be used in ways that would help our downtown. I feel like we should fight this, but we have to do it in a place where we can win. And that is at the provincial level, at the county level, where we can talk with the other municipalities and pool our effort to fight this Green Energy Act, which is forcing us in this situation. So I just don't like spending the money. And I think it's worse than $15,000. I don't have the number, but I think it's the court fees that they're asking us to pay are could be up to $100,000. Is it up over $100,000 yet, the court fees? Does anybody know? No, it's not yet. Anyway, it's a lot of money. I'd like to see that spent on, I don't know, supporting our small businesses. But we'll keep fighting. We'll keep fighting at the county level, for sure.
But will you fight the project that's going in right now, or are you talking about future projects?
I would fight even I think Next Era hasn't got anywhere yet, because we still have things that we could do to talk. I think even Catherine Wynne has reshifting her position on the Green Energy Act. She knows that we're all frustrated, and I think even she's starting to try to find ways to make this so that we have more input. I just think that this is policy, and you have to fight policy with policy, because in the court we're going to lose. We're all going to lose as taxpayers.
Kathleen Wynne has not shifted at all. Kathleen Wynne is still sticking to her guns. Kathleen Wynne does not want to change the Green Energy Act. Kathleen Wynne is not opening the Green Energy Act at this point. We have been trying to, for about 8 years at different conferences that we have had audiences and question periods with Kathleen, and she is pretty darn stuck on the fact that she thinks this is the right way to go. I'm not saying it's not the right way to go, it's just not the right way to go in a residential area. There are a number of things that you need to understand about turbines, about the lack of, half the time they're not running, they take electricity to power them, the electricity cannot be stored, the wind blows at night, that's not needed at night, and so they shut the turbines down. They're subsidized by huge dollars. You're watching your hydro bills go up substantially, and you're paying to have the turbines shut down because they're being subsidized by the government to be shut down, not to produce power. So there's a number of things that are wrong with this whole particular issue, and unfortunately, when you go take on the province or any kind of provincial policies, there is usually a lawyer involved, and that costs money. Unfortunately, that's what's happened here.
Was one more written question that was submitted to me, and it was actually addressed to Christine, but in fairness to both of the mayor candidates, keep it brief. Your top 3 priorities if you are elected to be the mayor of West Grey next term. We'll start with Christine and also Kevin.
Top 3 priorities. I would first feel very privileged to be the mayor of West Grey. So we will look at the budget. We need a 4-year budget. I'm proposing that, and I'd have that discussion. We need to get spending under control. We need to bring respect back to our taxpayers, our citizens. We need quality service delivery. We need to address community needs, and we need a sustainable future. I am looking at the eye of the tiger, and I believe West Grey will prosper. And that's what I'll bring forward as a leader. And I'm looking at having a very eager and knowledgeable council, members of council, that will also follow that vision. And I wish the best for West Grey.
One thing that hasn't been said, it's not my priority, but it will continue to be something that I would push as mayor, is that in the last 4 years, sorry, the last 5 years that I've been mayor, the municipality carried some debt. We have decreased that debt by $1 million. It paid off. I'm looking at one of the firemen here in in Ayton. We've got new fire trucks and whatnot. A lot of that was a lot of the roof that was put on here and some of the improvements to our other facilities and some of the purchases that we made were done with borrowed money. We have been fiscally responsible, and I think we've done great budgeting, and that will be my priority still going forward, is continuing to bring in a budget that is under 3% or under the inflation rate. Sometimes it can be done. The other priority will be to find different ways of doing things. We had a council member here that said we have a $185 million infrastructure deficit. We had an engineer take a look at our bridges, at our roads, and engineers are pretty good on identifying things, but I relate it to something like buying a new car. You buy the new car and the car dealer says, in 3 years, that's the time to trade her in. I'm looking around here and I'm thinking, the last car that I had, I drove it for 8 years, changed the brakes on it a couple of times. I didn't have to trade it in 3 years. And I think we can look forward at that. Don't get scared about $185 million of infrastructure because they put in that bridges were going to cost us $1 million apiece. Councilor Thompson just told you this evening that we put in a prefab bridge for $200,000 down here in Normanby, White's Bridge on the base line. Looking at Bev Plume, and that's down near Plumeville there. But that is something that I will continue to look forward to. Be my priority is looking at ways of doing things differently for cost effectiveness coming forward. The third thing, my third priority will be to continue to make this a safe, enjoyable, a place where you want to work and play and live out your whole life here in West Grey going forward.